Hi guys, and how have you been? Yes, it's yet another moment when we come to continue with our previous show that we brought, and we went all the way to sharing the experience that I had, and we went all the way talking about signs and symptoms that we can tell when we have anxiety disorder. And so guys, again in this show, I want to welcome you back. I want to welcome all those who are coming for the first time. Please feel welcome. All those who have walked with us in this journey, I want to say thank you so much for supporting us so far. If you have not subscribed to this channel, please subscribe. It is Millie Kihiu, Beautiful Life. And in this channel, we talk about encouragement, we talk about good vibes, we talk about the beauty of life, and we say life is still beautiful no matter what we are going through. And so guys, I want us to go straight to our topic for today. Last time we talked about anxiety disorder, and we saw what it is, how you can tell that you have anxiety disorder. And I said that in this next show, we are going to talk about ways to overcome anxiety disorder. And so guys, as I had shared with you in the previous video, remember I told you that this is something I have gone through. This is something I have experienced. This is something that I didn't know about, but through my experience, I learned that there is a condition by the name anxiety disorder. And so guys, I want to go straight to the ways of overcoming anxiety disorder. And I want to say that life is still beautiful no matter what you go through. Even those who are suffering anxiety disorder know that life is still beautiful. I have found the beauty of life because I have gone through it and overcome. I have found the beauty of life because I was not overcome by this disorder, but I have overcome it. Now, guys, I told you that when you have this disorder, you're not able to reason right. You don't have happiness, you don't have joy in your life, you don't feel healthy, you don't feel like things are fine in your life, and things are fine with your health, things are fine with your mind, your reasoning is not right. So there are so many things that we face, and I don't want to go back there, because if you have not watched our previous video, you can go back there and see the things that we talked about concerning anxiety disorder. And so today, I want us to talk about the ways to I want us to talk about how to overcome anxiety disorder. Number one thing that helped me so much is trusting in God, learning to trust in God. When you're facing this disorder, you'll go to hospitals, they'll look at you and they're like, umesema uko mgonjwa wapi? We don't see where you're sick. I don't think you're sick. Just go and compose yourself. Just go and put yourself together. Just go and listen to yourself again, and we feel like you're not sick. The only thing that they can go and tell you is that your blood pressure is high, so we want to put you on medication. We want you to, there are things they will tell you about what to do with your body, with your health, but eventually they will not have given you the real remedy for this disorder, because this is something that you cannot really explain what it is. This is something that you cannot express yourself and say, this is how I'm feeling. You will just have those symptoms, you will just have those feelings, you will just have those, what we had discussed in the previous video, but you cannot really tell what you feel or what you think you're suffering from. And so, trusting in God and knowing that He's an almighty God who understands me more than anyone else has helped me so much to overcome this disorder. As I've told you, I have suffered it for a long period of time, but as we speak, I'm free from anxiety disorder. And so, there's one verse that I read that gave me a lot of strength. And it's the book of Matthew chapter 6, verse 27, all the way to verse 30. And it was telling me, it was like asking me, if you wear yourself out, if you give yourself pressure, if you keep worrying this much, if you keep working this hard, do you think that there is anything that you can change in your life? And it's asking, by worrying, who of us, is any of us able to add any cubic in their stature? By worrying, is anybody able to increase their height? By worrying, is anybody able to increase the number of their hairs? Imagine, there is nothing that we are able to do by worrying. By worrying, we don't change anything. By worrying, we don't improve anything. By worrying, we don't improve the situation at all. But by trusting in God, it's only in Him that we can find a solution to our anxiety. Because He says in the book of Philippians that do not be anxious of anything. Do not be anxious about anything. Do not worry about anything. Do not think so much about anything, but by prayer and supplication. Let your requests, let your needs, let your desires be known unto Him, who is able to do exceedingly of what we ask. And so, when I read these two verses, I learned how to trust in God. And I was able to give Him all my burdens. I was able to pray even for the smallest and the minutest thing that made me worry, that brought anxiety in my life. I was able to surrender everything. And I was actually able to see how much He does for me even without asking. I was able to know that when I wake up in the morning, it is not the alarm that wakes me up, but it is the hand of God that resurrects me from that sleep, that death, that half death, and it puts me in another day because of His plan, because of what He has fashioned for my life, because of the good plans that He has for me. He wakes me up healthy. He wakes me up not tired. He wakes me up without fatigue. He gives me sleep during the night, because He says that He gives sleep to those that He loves. And so, if we trust in God, we become His friends. If we trust in God, we have a relationship with Him. And therefore, He is going to give us sleep. He is going to give us everything that we ask for. And so we do not have any need for anxiety. We do not have any need to worry anymore, because we trust in Him. But I also learned that in as much as I will trust in God, I have a part to play. And this part that I need to play is, second, after trusting in God, I need to have a balanced, healthy food. So by healthful eating, it means that I'll be very careful what I put in my body in terms of eating. I will eat healthily. I will drink plenty of water. I will ensure that in my diet, I will have more vegetables and fruits than the other combination. And I will also be very careful that I eat the right amount. And I'll also be careful to eat at the right time. Like, I will not keep on eating every minute. I will not keep on eating every other hour. I'll make sure that I have a program on how I eat, so that my body can be healthy, such that whenever I take in something, I'm able to know why did I take it, and how much did I take, and at what ratio am I supposed to take, and what is it that I took in. And also, I will make sure that I will not take addictive things. I will not take things that are harmful to my body. I will make sure that everything that I take, I will take it with the right proportion. Also, I'll make sure that in the same diet, there are some times of the night, there are times of the day that I don't need to eat a lot of food. Like, I will not eat a lot of food during supper, because if I take this food during supper, then at the end of the day, during the night, I might not have a comfortable sleep. And you know, we said that when we have sleeplessness, we might we might find ourselves experiencing anxiety disorder. Therefore, we will also mind a lot about the exercise that we do. We will make sure that we exercise every other day. Every other day we have time to exercise our bodies so that our bodies can be fit every other time. We are also going to avoid toxic situations that drain your mind, situations that drains your health by like giving you tension, situations that brings you fear, situations that brings you worry. We are going to avoid in as much as we can those situations that brings us worry. We are just going to find ourselves, we're supposed to find ourselves engaging in activities that brings us happiness, that brings us joy, that brings us relaxation, that relaxes our body and our mind. So we're going to find time so that we can analyze the activities that we are going to engage in. We are also going to find time and analyze to see which activities we are going to drop, which relationships we are going to drop, which type of groupings we are going to avoid, what situations we are going to run away from, what kind of talks and discussions we are going to run away from. All these will help us to avoid anxiety disorder. Also, we are going to be realistic. We are going to take life in a realistic manner. We are not going to bite so much or a big portion than we can chew, so that we can be able to accomplish everything that we plan. We are going to plan that which we are able to accomplish. We are going to plan that which we are able to meet deadlines. We are not going to rush all the time. We are not going to be always running with deadlines. We are not always going to be working with the last minute. We are going to avoid the rushes that brings us pressure whenever we are doing all those activities and when we are doing all those projects that we have in life. Also, we are going to be ourselves. If we are not happy, we will say it openly. We'll say, I'm not happy about this. I cannot do this. Our no will be a no and our yes will be a yes. We will not do things to please people. We are not going to be people pleasers, because you please them today, tomorrow wamesha kutoka. And then you'll start again finding difficulty to balance your life again, because you feel jeopardized, you feel wasted, you feel used, you feel like someone had taken advantage of you. So instead of experiencing this that can as well bring you anxiety disorder, then you need your no to be a no, and you need your yes to be a yes. Do not be forced by circumstances to be somewhere, to be with someone, to do some things, or to engage in some activities just because it is by convenience of someone else. If it is a no, let it be a no. If it is a yes, let it be a yes. Be comfortable as you do everything that you're doing. But if you feel like you're not comfortable, don't do it, because it will cause you anxiety disorder. So let you be yourself. Handle issues one by one as they come. Do not be double-imaged. That today you are this way, tomorrow you become another person. Be constant with the presentation that you bring from within yourself. So make sure that if it is a good person, if you have a good personality, let it be a good personality. If you have a bad personality, fight that bad personality, but do not usitake kujichange. Don't change yourself abruptly or act whom you are not. So you need to be realistic in life. You need to face life in a realistic way. Then you are one other thing, you must find joy, and you must find the beauty of life where it lies. You must look for that part of life that makes you feel successful, that makes you feel happy, that makes you feel, yes, I think this one I did it well, that makes you feel encouraged, that makes your self-esteem go high. But for those parts of life that brings you fear, run away from them. If it is your past that was toxic, if it was messy, if it was bad, if it was very bad, run away from it so that you don't suffer anxiety disorder. Make sure that whatever you do in life is what makes you happy. Look for that beauty, because beauty lies somewhere in everyone's life. Look for that brighter side of life, and for sure you'll find yourself enjoying life. Because as we have always said, life is still beautiful no matter what we are going through. It may be hard, it may be tough, it may be a crisis that you cannot face, that you cannot solve. Make sure that you see the beauty of life on the other end of the tunnel. And so, whenever you're looking for that beauty of life, there's something that David said, that even in his own beauty, he could not be compared with the lilies. What happens with the lilies? The lilies never plant, they never clothe themselves, they never bathe, they never make themselves up, but there is nothing that can compare with the lilies, because they are the best of the flowers. They are the most beautiful of the flowers. God clothes them. God puts that beauty in them. Let us compare ourselves with the lilies and know that in this life there will always be something beautiful. Amidst crisis, amidst pain, amidst loss, amidst death, amidst everything that we might face in this life, there will always be something beautiful that we can hold on to. Let us compare ourselves to the lilies, and we shall see the beauty of life in us. Also, the other thing that we do is to decongest our lives. Let us declutter our lives, because maisha yetu imejaa shida hivi, imejaa takataka, imejaa unused things, imejaa vitu zenye ziliharibika zikawekwa tu hapo. Let us make sure that we declutter our lives. Let us decongest our lives. Let us plan things that we can be able to meet deadlines, as I had said. Let us not congest our lives with so many things, because even if we are given the whole of this world and then we lose our lives, what benefit will it have on ourselves? There is a certain story that I read about, it was a true story. I read about a certain guy who became very rich at his young age, and he had everything that he needed, and he had gathered it by himself, and he was able to count in billions the amount that he had gathered, the investments that he had. But at some point, crisis came, and so he started losing it one by one. After the loss, he went to his father and told him, "Dad, you know, as we speak here, I owe so many people so many debts that I cannot live anymore." And this guy he committed suicide, and he has lost everything. He has lost his life, so he has no chance to improve his life anymore. But for us who are living, in whatever situation you are in, you are able to improve from there because you have a chance. You are alive. So I was looking at this issue of this man, and I was seeing a desperate person, yet in his life we could see like he was covered with wealth, he was covered with comfort, he was covered with everything he needed, but inside himself he was burning and dying. He was dying slowly until he had to commit suicide. So I realized that it is true that even if you're given the whole world in your hands, it is not of any benefit if you lose your life. Now, the last one and the most important part, the most important way of overcoming anxiety disorder is pray, pray, pray. Pray, pray, pray always. Let us make our requests known to God through prayer. Let us come to God and give thanks for the things he has done for us through prayer. Let us come and tell God our worries and our fears through prayer. And what does he say in his word to encourage us? In Matthew chapter 6 verse 8, it says that you have a father. And your Father who is in heaven knows your needs, and he knows what you ask for. He knows what you need even before you ask for it. He can read your heart. He can read your mind. And he knows exactly what you need. He knows exactly how it is going to benefit you. He knows when to give you and when not to give you. He knows when you need it and when you don't really need it. You know, sometimes we need things, like we pray for so many things, and then sometimes we don't get them. What happens? God can see what we need even before we ask. And so sometimes we ask for things that we do not need, and therefore he cannot give us. But he says, do not be anxious about anything. But because he understands and he is your father, and he knows what you need before you ask him, be encouraged. Know that he can give you, and you can get just anything that you ask from him at his own will. Then in the book of Matthew chapter 10, verse 29 to 30, it says that a sparrow that falls on the ground, when a sparrow falls, God can see it. And he says, are we not more important than the sparrows? And if at all he can follow that one sparrow, I don't know whether you understand what sparrows are. They are birds that fly together they fly together, and when they fill the sky, they are numerous. They are uncountable. But when one of them falls, God is able to tell that a sparrow has fallen. Look at this again. The hairs on your head, he knows the number of your hairs in your head. That when one breaks, he knows that hair number 50, hair number 100 has broken. And you can imagine the number of people in the world, the number of people that he has created. And you can imagine the number of hairs, but because he is all-knowing, he understands the number of hairs that you have. And even if you would worry that much, even if you would worry and work so hard, you cannot add any hairs in your head, on your head. You cannot add any height. You cannot add an inch on your height. You cannot add a cubic on your structure. And so, if there is nothing we can do for ourselves, even the minutest of all, then why don't we trust in God? Why don't we pray and pray and pray? Whenever we feel like we are getting anxious, we kneel down and tell God, this is what I need from you. I just need peace. He is the giver of peace. He is the Prince of Peace. You go to him and tell him, Father, I am sick. He is the healer, and he is the only one who can understand exactly where you are ailing. The doctors will go, they might guess right, they might guess wrong, they might give you a wrong prescription, they might give you a wrong diagnosis, but for God, he understands every cell, every single cell in your body. When you are sick, he is the greatest physician. He can heal and restore until you cannot tell where you are ailing. You cannot tell where the mark of the ailing was. Until you cannot tell the bruises that you had. Until you cannot tell the signs of any symptoms, of any sicknesses. This is a faithful God. We can pray and pray and pray. We can ask and ask and ask. By prayer and supplication, we can open the storehouse where he can give us everything we need so that we don't suffer anxiety disorder. And so, guys, if I overcame, you can also overcome. I didn't understand exactly what I was ailing. I didn't understand exactly what I was going through. But when I learned how to overcome it, and I followed these few steps that I have given, and others that you can go and find and that are applicable in your life, then you can be sure you can overcome, because life is still beautiful no matter what we go through. Even when we are going through anxiety disorders, then we can know that life still has some beauty in it that we can enjoy. And so, guys, that was exactly what I wanted to share in this show and the previous show, so that at least I can help someone. If you're going through that, that disorder, I know that it is like you may not understand it, but if you go through the two episodes that we have presented, you can tell whether you have the disorder or not. Remember, this is not something that you cannot overcome. You can still overcome it and move along with life and go ahead with life and enjoy life to the fullest. And so guys, until next time, and thank you for the far you have come with us. Please, if you have not subscribed to this channel, subscribe, share with friends, and switch on the notification button so that when we upload any video, you will be able to be notified and you can watch it when it is still hot. And until next time, guys, it's your girl Millie, and bye-bye.